Hey everyone, it's Jen from Cop Needs a Homestead, and today we're going to talk about a very controversial movie. As we all know, there is the movie Cuties, a French movie about a Senegalese girl growing up in Paris, joining a dance troupe. And I often see a lot of commentators say that, oh, it's about pedophilia and everything. Personally, I don't believe it's about pedophilia. I watched it twice. Yes, there are some very, very uncomfortable scenes to watch. Very uncomfortable scenes to watch. Like, I didn't even like watching the dancing. I didn't like watching the dancing at all. I feel like they could have done maybe a different genre of dance in the movie and still possibly get the same point across. And yeah, they could have been cheerleaders. And here's why I'm starting to say cheerleaders or even pageant girls. Because these are also groups of young girls that get targeted by, let's be honest, pedos. Yeah, we're going in that direction. I'm sorry, guys. And I've wanted to make this video for over a week now because I actually had a former friend, who all of a sudden came out liking um, cheerleading girls and things like that, and like the dance team girls, like dance moms and stuff like that. And well, my best friend and we tried to like, hey dude, we really want to help you. We don't want the shit beat out of you, trying to reform him and understand what's going on. Unfortunately, he dug himself into such a deep hole that when this happened, I think 2018, that he even became a local media sensation for the wrong reasons. It was for a song he did. It was very, very uncomfortable to listen to. And this was all because his fascination with cheerleading girls. This is why I'm going to kind of stand up for Cuties in the way that at the same time we've got these shows on like TLC and whatever other reality network of young girls doing competition dancing, pageants, what else? Cheerleading, like I was just talking about. But all of a sudden we're up in arms and in fury over a French film. Now, let's be honest, there's a lot of really fracked up European films out there. Like, have you guys watched a Serbian film? Like, seriously, that's fucked up. There are some really fucked up films out there. Right? That's fucked up. Right? The Serbian film, I think, is more fucked up than Cuties. Okay? That's my take on it. Because the way how I see it is Cuties was about a Senegalese girl, 11 years old, and she's growing up in Paris. And, well, Europeans, at times, we can be a little bit more looser with our dress and everything versus a more reserved culture like Senegalese Islamic people. And a good example of, even just loose dress code, but even having high moral standards are like the Irish travelers and the Romani. Like, honestly, their girls look like they are about to hit the streets to try to pick up some Johns, but, they have such high moral standards. They don't actually, have any sexual relations until they're married, which is, I find, quite interesting. So, you can't get away. Thank you, Yates. So, there's just that point. So, yes, Ami is a Senegalese girl growing up in basically the culture clash that is European culture and traditional Muslim culture from her Senegalese background. And that's really what it pretty much boils down to. And yes, there are some very uncomfortable parts. But if we're just going to, bash Cuties for all the uncomfortable parts, why, and, oh, who is this made for? Oh, this is like pedo bait and stuff like that. And I'm like, why aren't we saying the same things about shows like Dance Moms, Toddlers and Tiaras, whatever cheerleading show is on, right? I want answers on that. Why aren't we saying, oh, this is this? Because I just gave a personal example of a former friend who was into cheerleaders and wrote a very gross song about how he wanted to do younger girls. It was grotesque. I actually wanted to vomit. I think I did vomit, actually. I think Steph and I both vomited. And we're like, no, dude, we can't. Listen, we cannot be associated with you. Now that you're in the news, we tried to help you. We cannot be associated with you. So, that's what I mean. I'm just, saying, I'm pointing this out, It's just a bit of, contrapoints. And another contrapoint I want to, I think contrapoints actually, whatever. But, I like to play devil's advocate. And I just watched Hunter Avalon's video that was just released maybe, less than an hour ago about, oh, yay, Cuties is crashing Netflix and cancel culture. And here's the thing. In none of his pieces did he show statistics for Canada, Australia, the UK, any other countries that have Netflix. He only showed the US part. So, yeah, it's canceling in the US. So what about the rest of the world, Hunter Avalon? I ask you that. And with that being said, the Netflix as a corporation is not going to crash because of that movie. Because I personally feel that the whole time, this was a marketing ploy. Look at how many of us are on YouTube as commentators talking about Cuties. They are getting backlash. Anything about marketing will tell you that a bad review is going to go around the world 10 times faster than a good one. And that's why I feel that Netflix marketed it in such a way, in contrary to how it was marketed in France. Because Netflix wanted controversy. They wanted to stir the pot. They wanted to get people talking. You know what? Cuties was in the top 10 movies for Canada at one point. You know when Netflix shows, oh, what's popular? It was in the top 10. So you can't tell me that the way how they portrayed this in such a negative light and getting all this backlash hasn't actually technically worked for them in the sense that, hey, we're now talking about this shit and everything. These are strictly my opinions, but even reading some articles, like in the Monthly Fool, this shit's not going to, take down Netflix. It's not. I could have told you that. I told my ex-husband that a week ago. This shit's not going to take down Netflix, no matter how many people are complaining about it. Because, hey, Toddlers and Tiaras hasn't taken down TLC. And there's been controversy about that. Same with Dance Moms and all these other shows that are projecting children in such a light that, is pedo bait. You can't tell me Toddlers and Tiaras hasn't had some controversial moments in how the children were portrayed and how the parents let this happen. And that's another thing. Everyone is like, oh, the producers, oh, but has anyone ever said, hey, the parents had to sign off on their children doing this, so what's wrong with the parent? All those girls twerking and sending in their, audition, I'm pretty sure their parents had to sign off on it. What about the parents? That's not what I ask you. Sorry about this fly. But there you go. That's what I have to say. Like, what about the parents? What about shows like Toddlers and Tiaras and all these other shows? Me giving a perfect example how there, even I know, pedophilia asshole who, this was 2 years ago, we found out he was, sexually attracted to cheerleader girls and followed a whole bunch of underage cheerleader girls on Instagram basically to jack off. So if you're watching this as a mom who's got a kid in cheerleading and you're posting all this stuff, pageants and things like that, just remember, there's some creep on the internet wanking himself to your child's pictures. And people are saying that this is pornographic. What about these shows? These could also be construed as pornographic. What I've learned about being in porn is one man's porn is another man's art. And this is what we're having the debate on. Is it art? Is it porn? And that is what I believe Netflix wanted us to, start, basically, ooh, ah. And I feel that they did this all with the perfect timing. Like I said, they're just stirring the pot. They're wanting us to talk, and now we're all talking about Netflix, and we're all talking about this series, and like I said, it was number 10 in Canada. People are like, ew, but I want to see the train wreck. Have you ever, driven past a accident? You're like, no, but I want to see. No, but I want to see. I mean, that's the way how I feel when I watch, some of these YouTubers on here. Like Nick Ocado and Amber Lynn. Their lives to me are like total train wrecks. Keep stuffing your fat faces. But that's really what I have to say. I mean, if you don't like what I have to say, please thumbs down, bitch at me in the comments. If you do what I have to say, subscribe. And I have no problems being devil's advocate. Sometimes we need devil's advocate. I like playing devil's advocate. Like my one rant to my ex-husband a few days ago about, well, if we're having a store policy about wearing masks, why aren't they enforcing it on the floor? Because I've seen people taking off masks the moment they're in the store, just the shop. That's totally separate rant I'll go on. But that's my 2 cents. Like I said, subscribe, whatever. Hate me, whatever. Don't care. Love you guys. Bye.